From disability to world champion, nothing is impossible. Have you ever been told you can't achieve something because of how you were born? Have you ever felt like life dealt you an unfair hand and the world already decided your limits? If so, this story is for you. It's a powerful reminder that greatness isn't reserved for the perfect. It belongs to those who fight, fall, and rise again, regardless of the obstacles in front of them. This is the story of a young boy born with a disability, who defied every odd and became a world champion. It's not just about victory, it's about vision, belief, and the unstoppable power of the human spirit. Our story begins in a small town, where a boy named Aiden came into the world with a rare neuromuscular disorder that severely affected his ability to walk and use his arms. Doctors told his parents early on that he might never walk unassisted, that sports would be out of the question, and that independence would be a constant struggle. The words were clinical, cold, and final, at least in the medical books. But Aiden's family didn't see a diagnosis. They saw a child filled with light, curiosity, and fierce determination in his eyes. The early years were hard. Physical therapy sessions were daily, exhausting, and often painful. Aiden had to be taught how to do basic tasks most kids never think twice about. He struggled to keep up in school, not because of his mind, which was sharp and curious, but because he was constantly dealing with surgeries, checkups, and fatigue. Other children didn't always know how to treat him. Some teased him, others pitied him, but Aiden didn't want pity. He wanted to play. He wanted to run. He wanted to compete. One day, while watching a sports competition on television, Aiden asked his mother if he could do something like that. She hesitated, not because she didn't believe in him, but because she knew how hard the journey would be. But she smiled and said, "If that's what you want, we'll find a way." And that sentence would shape Aiden's life forever. They discovered para-sports, competitions specifically designed for athletes with physical disabilities. That was when Aiden was introduced to wheelchair racing. At first, it was overwhelming. The gear was complex. His upper body was weak. He could barely finish a short distance. But something in him clicked. He loved the feeling of motion, of pushing forward, of competing. It didn't matter if he finished last. It only mattered that he was racing. From that moment, Aiden committed himself completely. He trained every morning before school and every evening afterward. His hands blistered from pushing the wheels. His muscles burned. He fell. A lot. But he got up every single time. He studied the champions of the sport, how they trained, how they ate, how they thought. His room became filled with posters of athletes who had once been told, "No," and turned it into, "Watch me." As the months turned into years, Aiden began entering local competitions. He lost more than he won at first, but every loss was a lesson. He kept refining his technique, strengthening his core, improving his endurance. At 15, he won his first regional race. At 17, he broke a state record. By 18, he was invited to his first national championship, representing athletes with disabilities from across the country. But the real turning point came when he was selected to represent his country in the Paralympic Games. Aiden, once told he would never walk, was now lining up on a world stage, surrounded by the best of the best. The lights, the cameras, the crowd, it was surreal. But Aiden wasn't overwhelmed. He was ready. Years of sweat, sacrifice, and stubborn belief had led to this moment. By the halfway point, he was in third place. But then came the part that defines champions, the final stretch. With the finish line in sight, Aiden summoned every ounce of strength, every piece of pain he'd ever turned into power, and pushed harder than ever before. He crossed the finish line first, collapsing in tears. The crowd erupted. But no cheer was louder than the one in his own heart, the sound of a boy who had refused to be defined by disability. Aiden became a Paralympic gold medalist, but even more than that, he became a symbol. A symbol for children born into struggle. For people told they'd never be more than their limitations. He became proof that nothing is impossible. But the story doesn't end with a gold medal. Aiden didn't stop at being a champion. He started a foundation that provides access to sports equipment and coaching for children with disabilities. He visits schools and hospitals to share his story. He mentors young athletes and funds research for adaptive sports technologies. He became more than a winner. he became a leader. And through it all, Aiden remains grounded. He reminds everyone he meets that his success didn't come from some superhuman talent. It came from showing up every day, even when he didn't feel like it. From trusting the process, even when it hurt. From believing in himself, even when nobody else did. That's the heart of his story. There were nights he wanted to quit. Days his body refused to cooperate. Moments where the dream felt too far, too painful, too slow. But every time he fell, he remembered why he started. He remembered that somewhere out there, another child was being told they'd never be enough. And he made it his mission to prove otherwise. So what can we learn from Aiden's journey? That your circumstances are not your destiny. That your disability, whether physical, emotional, financial, or mental, doesn't define your limit. You do. That greatness isn't measured by perfection, but by persistence. That true power begins the moment you believe in yourself, even when the world doesn't. If you're watching this and feel like the world is telling you, no, remember this. That true power begins the moment you believe in yourself, even when the world doesn't. One person's no is just the start of your yes. The only thing truly impossible is the thing you refuse to try. And while you may not win a gold medal, you can win your life back, through passion, through effort, and through belief. Aiden's story isn't just about triumph in sports. It's about the triumph of spirit. About facing every barrier and saying, I will not be broken. It's about redefining what's possible, not just for yourself, but for everyone watching you. Because when you rise, you give others permission to rise too. Remember, the world may put limits on you, but the only one who can decide if those limits stay is you. From disability to world champion, this isn't just Aiden's story. It can be yours too. From disability to world champion, this isn't just Aiden's story. It can be yours too. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.